Okay, so I want to say welcome back um to my audio diary, I guess. That's kind of what I want this to be. So in this rendition, I want to talk about um I guess like what it means to have goals, what it means to have things that you're like striving for, and like the difficulties that can arise from that. And I guess how to stay consistent. Um so I want to start with something that I did at the beginning of 2024. As of today, it's July 14th, 2024. So I did this around August. Um, I made like a list, like essentially my goals for the year. Um, it's about 9 things. And I think writing your goals down, I think it helps. I think it helps to keep you on track in terms of, by the end of the year, you want to have accomplished everything on your list. So my goals are just, number one, get into an amazing grad school. Number two, go to grad school for free. Number three, run a half marathon. Number four, achieve a 25-minute 5K. Number five, start a YouTube channel. Number six, start a documentation podcast. Number seven, secure an architecture internship for this summer. Number eight, graduate. Number nine, exercise and pray daily. So I would say for the most part, being a little over halfway into the year, um, I've gotten decent at, I would say, getting most of these done. Um, but it definitely depends. So, getting into an amazing grad school, I have been accepted into UC Berkeley, into their two-year program. So advanced standing, um, and they're giving me a full ride essentially, and a $10,000 stipend. So those two goals, they're there. Run a half marathon. I started my half marathon training, actually about 3 weeks ago. This upcoming week, I'll be on week 4. I think the program that I'm using is Hal Higgins, like half marathon, like novice program. Um, number five, no, number four, achieve a 25-minute 5K. So actually, this past February, I did do a 5K, but my time was 26 minutes exactly. So I was a minute off. But I think with the training I'm doing for the half marathon, I can still kind of achieve this. So we're gonna see. Number five, start a YouTube channel. So the stuff that I'm recording now, I'm gonna have these uploaded to Spotify, but also to YouTube. So I do have a YouTube channel. I'm gonna revamp that, create like maybe a logo, different emblems and stuff. Kind of some things that I'm thinking about doing. Start a documentation podcast. Like I said, the Spotify thing is going on. Secure an internship, architecture internship this summer. I'm working somewhere now. I won't say the name, but somewhere in Jackson, Mississippi. Um, so yeah, that's definitely underway. Graduate, that's done. Exercise and pray daily. Um, of course, that's a work in progress. It's not really something you check off, because you're doing it day to day. Um, but yeah, I think in terms of my goals, it's going pretty well. Like it's going really well actually. And I wanna keep it up. I don't. I'm gonna find the best way to put this into words, but I've come to realize that when it comes to goals that you set, um, in order to achieve those goals, you have to work towards them literally every single day. Like, and I feel like you don't have to be too obsessive. I just feel like if there are 7 days in a week, like if you have a particular goal that you're aiming for, if you're like targeting it at least 3 to 4 days a week, I feel like that's good enough. But I would say you wanna target your goal, or at least this is what I'll try to do, like minimally, I guess every single day, like a few minutes a day. Like for example, if I wanted to, you know, learn to play an acoustic guitar, if this is really at the forefront of one of my goals, something I really wanted to achieve, my first thought would be, okay, let me put myself in a position to actually like learn and like build a foundation for myself so that over time I have an accumulated, amount of time that I've put towards this goal that's like tangible and that I can like see in real time. Um, so I think, yeah, I think that's the best way to tackle goals. That's how I've been trying to think about it. It's really just whatever you do from the day to day. Um, I think that's what really matters. And in training for this half marathon, I'm beginning to see how my progress from day to day is beginning to build off of each other, and I think that's a beautiful thing. Um, Obviously, it's hard working towards your goals. Like sometimes we wish that we could just be there, but it's uh, it's not as easy as that, I guess. Even though we wish that it was, it's not as easy as just waking up and your goals just being, I guess, completed. Um, but I would say one thing in looking at the list that I created for myself, like being halfway through the year, it makes me think like, wow, maybe I should have set bigger goals. Maybe I should have pushed myself even more. But also at the same time, I don't know if that's really necessary because it's like when I wrote these down, I didn't know if these were achievable. But having achieved almost most of them, and I think by the end of the year, I will have achieved all of them. I know that for the next year or the next few months after that, I can write down bigger goals. I can have goals for maybe my YouTube channel. I can have goals for um, my podcast. I can have goals for what I hope to achieve throughout, grad school, either working with professors, getting certain internships, doing travel fellowships. There's so many goals that I can set for myself. And I find myself actually like growing more rapidly based on the goals that I set. If I set a higher a higher tier of a goal, I feel like I'm gonna work, that much harder to reach that level. Um, so I feel like goals, it's a great way to challenge yourself, a great way to figure out who you are. I feel like that's one thing that I've been thinking about a lot lately. I think the reason I have so many interests and hobbies and things that I'm interested in is because I want to kind of speed run essentially. I want to speed run the process of getting to know myself. I think a lot of times, like being young people, I'm currently 22. Um, we're still growing into who we are as people. We don't know exactly who we are, so it's like I wanna kind of speed run that process, like see what kind of person I am, see what I enjoy, and I feel like I'm getting really close to that. I've um, I've like trained in jujitsu, mixed martial arts. I've been biking, I've been running. I recently took some swimming lessons because I wanna add swimming into the echelon of training that I do, to the type of training that I do. I've been biking, running, because eventually I want to do triathlons. Like I want to do a half Ironman, a full Ironman. I want to do like duathons that only involve running and like biking. I just want to challenge myself in these like very new endeavors because I would say in the past these weren't exactly things that I was interested in. In the past, I would say my art mostly consumed my life in terms of everything that I was doing. But I'm realizing that like as you set new goals, your past goals that you've accomplished, that you feel like have you've gotten pretty far with, you can actually push those to the side And you can maintain those minimally, you know, as you make room for your new goals that maybe require more of your attention. I would say when you're doing something new, obviously it requires more attention than something that's a little more mature. So I would say it's important to um, exercise caution with that as well. Um, but yeah, I think being halfway through the year, I think I'm excited for what the year is gonna look like. Going to UC Berkeley, um, I'm so close. My ultimate goal is to become a licensed architect, and I'm so close. I hope by at least 25, like I'm on the path. Like I'm taking exams. Like I'm so close. But we're gonna see. We're gonna see. I think I think yeah. Let's see. If there's anything else that I want to highlight, I feel like if I wasn't setting goals, or at least if I find myself not being super explicit about my tasks for the day, I find like time passing, but me not necessarily like getting better in terms of the things that I'm interested in. So I think one thing that helps, if you have a phone, definitely use like a notes app. I have an Apple, so I have a notes app that I use. And I basically curate a today's list every single day. And that way it helps me. It's like a physical representation of me working towards, my goals. I have like my summer goals. I have like the goals for like, let's say it's Monday. I have like maybe weekend goals. And they can be small things, like for today's list, it's like, okay, like meditate for 15 minutes. I have like some books, like, like read a book for 15 minutes. Um, I think stuff like that, because I want to try to become more of an avid reader. That's another one of my goals. And it's a bit difficult, like trying to find the time, I guess, to commit to reading. But 15 minutes a day, you know, I feel like that definitely adds up over time, you know, like 15 minutes, for 7 days a week. That's like it's like an hour and a half. I think, don't check on that. That's like an hour and a half. But that's like more than enough time. I feel like if you commit, you can definitely finish a book that way. It can be 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes. And I just feel like that's an easy way to go about, accomplishing the things that you have for yourself. So obviously that's definitely one way. Having a to-do list that you check, and you change every single day. You add to, you delete things that you've done, you mark off things. I think that's definitely a way to go about it. Um, but yeah, that's kind of what I think about goals. Um, and I would say, it's okay if you have days where you're not doing the best. Like, let's say you get nothing done. I think it's important not to beat yourself up. I think the goal is to just be persistent. Be persistent, but also try your best to be consistent. Um, the goal is not perfection. The goal is consistency. I think consistency is better than perfection. Um, and I think also tweaking intensity depending on what you're doing. So let's say your goal is to, finish a book. Maybe you don't come out the gate with like, okay, I'm going to read an hour a day. Maybe just come out with like, I'm going to read 5 minutes a day. I'm going to read 10 minutes a day. I think that's better than trying to come out the gate with something that's a bit too extreme. And I think it's easier on the mind. It's easier on your mental. It can be easier on your physical, depending on what you're doing. So with the training that I do, it's very easy to kind of overwhelm yourself. Like with the training that I have set right now, I'm trying to bike 10 miles a week. I'm trying to run at least 15 miles a week. 2 arm days, like at the gym, 2 arm sessions. 2 leg days, and 1 core day. So that has me exercising five days a week, and I'm resting 2 days, so Wednesday and Sunday. So obviously, it's important that, since this is in my opinion, a more strict schedule to follow, it's important to be easy on yourself. If you notice it's a bit difficult, like, find the best way to ease into it. I'm at a point where I've already eased into it, and it's definitely doable for me. But I would say in starting new stuff, that's not always the case. So I would say definitely exercise caution with that. But yeah, I would say definitely try your best. Try your best to be consistent, diligent, but also cautious about the level of intensity that you want to add to this new endeavor. Yeah, I think that's all I have to say about goals right now. Obviously, I'm thinking that with this like audio diary, I'm hoping that my opinions and my thoughts continue to change and develop over time as I age and get older and more experienced and more wise and more mature. But yeah, I would say right now, definitely transitional period. The summer before going to UC Berkeley, so I'm definitely excited. I have about 4 more weeks before I, get on a plane, go to California, and living there for the next 2 years, and who knows how long after. So I think it's definitely an exciting time for sure. And I'm hoping that with this form of documenting my thoughts and journeys, that I can remain consistent in the goals that I've set, and that I can set even bigger goals. So I just want to say thank you to all those for listening. Hoping I'm not boring your heads off. But yeah, thank you for coming along with my journey with me and discussing how life is going, goals that I have, my thoughts. And yeah, thank you for listening. Feel free to subscribe. Feel free to join this community. This is kind of just me giving myself an opportunity and the space to talk more freely. I would say this is like an alternative to like journaling in a way, but it's a more visual, I guess, representation, a more visual alternative. But yeah, I just want to say thank you. Hope you're all having a great day when you're listening to this. And yeah, peace out.